Mike, I know this decision to end the Crossroads Classic, was made before you got here. But what are your thoughts going forward on playing games in Indianapolis? I know as a player you got to every year and such, and how important is that going forward to you to at least try to get to play there at least once a year or close?
Well, it's very important. I mean, that's home for me, man. That's where I grew up. Give my family an opportunity and friends to come out and see us play. Not that they don't come down the road 37 to see us here in Bloomington, but for me, it's sentimental. I mean, I love Indianapolis and everything that it has to offer. So it would be nice if we can get a game there here in the future. And, I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I mean, we're working on some things, so we'll just have to wait it out and see where we go after we finish this weekend.
Jeff.
Hey, Coach. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, I did a couple of radio interviews this week, and the number one question I kept getting asked is, where is Christian Lander in the rotation? Is he on the verge of more playing time? So I figured the best thing, I just toss it to you. Where is he, and is he on the verge of more playing time, or kind of where's that dynamic at?
I would never discuss with any fan or media playing time. Just Christian Lander is wearing an IU uniform, and if I see fit to put him in the game, and I just hope that he's ready to play whatever minutes he gets, and he's done that for me, and I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because, again, I'm as a coach, I'm going to do what I think is right for the team. That's not to say playing him is wrong. He has played some, maybe not as much as he wants to play. And that's good too, because I want 17 guys that want to play. That's what playing basketball is all about. I'd be disappointed if he sat over there and didn't give it a damn about playing. So, hey, Christian's just got to keep working, which he's doing that, doing all the necessary things on and off the floor, and just got to wait and see where it leads us.
Alex.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well. I'm curious, when you look at Notre Dame on film, what concerns you the most about them? And just in terms of the guard play, they obviously have a lot of guys that can make plays in the perimeter. How important is it going to be for you to match that on Saturday?
Well, first of all, they well coached. He's done a hell of a job over the years there at Notre Dame. And, they got a veteran ball club that's been together a while. So their system is in place. They know each other really well. So we got to combat that as well. And yeah, their perimeter play is what drives them. And so, I think when I watch film on them, they very organized. I like the way they play on both ends of the floor. And we got to commit ourselves as a unit for 40 minutes, man, to come out of Banker's Life with the win. I mean, it's not going to be a game that we go in and think it's going to be easy. We got to compete for 40 minutes and see what happens.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, I'm curious what you think about what you're getting out of your transition offense right now. Are you guys playing as fast as you want to play? And if not, what do you want to see more of in that regard? Well,
again, when you talk about everybody wants to run in basketball, I don't care what level it is. I hear that all the time, man, we need to run more. Well, you got to get stops. You got to create your chances of being able to get out and transition and run. You can dribble the ball up quick when it's slow time and milk possessions or take quick early shots and play fast that way. But listen, we're scoring almost 80 points a game, and we're giving up 62, 63 points a game. So my thing is, I look at the plus minuses. That's a pretty good plus. I like to get easier buckets, but the only way you get those is you got to get stops and create turnovers where you can get out and do things early. And that might speed the process up, but I don't buy into, when we got to play quicker and this and that, I just want to be more sufficient. That's what's important to me.
Tyler.
Hey, Coach. I hope you're doing well. I'm wondering. This is kind of a coaching philosophy question, but you've talked a lot about instilling confidence in your players. How do you balance instilling confidence while also like being hard on them when it's needed?
Hey, coaching is coaching. I tell these guys all the time, it's never going to ever be personal with me. Sometimes, when I'm loud and boisterous, it's the message that you probably need to ring in on, not because I'm screaming or, listen to the message, and, that's kind of how I was coached, and I'm not saying it works all the time, but hell, I know when to pack guys and when to push guys. I've learned that as a coach over the years. But I think all players want to be coach guys. I do. And it's just finding the right buttons to push. And, there are days I'm sure they walk off the court saying that this guy's crazy as hell. But then there are days that they say, hey, man, Coach really's a good dude and he loves me. And he want nothing but the best for me. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's nothing more than that. I'd be foolish, to think anything differently. Man, I need these guys to win. I need them to play hard and do the things that I think they can do to put us in a position to win. So I don't want to screw that up. So, but I'm still going to coach. That's what I do. That's what I like to do. So it's a balancing act. Put it that way.
Alec.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about Notre Dame being obviously a lot more perimeter oriented, especially with their big guys as well. How have your bigs, especially Trace and Race, come along with defending out on the perimeter, and kind of where do they still have to go to kind of reach their full potential?
Well, I think they've done a pretty good job in that regard. We don't switch a whole lot. And then when we do switch, there's sometimes they get caught in a bad way and they have to switch out on a smaller guy. That's just basketball. Guys, you can't play a 40-minute game and that not happen. It can happen in transition where, you didn't get back and you might have to play somebody that's smaller than what you accustomed to playing. And that's the whole beauty, I think, about our ball club. When I took over, those are things that I try to teach. Hey, it ain't going to be perfect every time down the floor. So do you just say, well, I'll take this possession off because I'm not guarding my man and I'll make up the next possession? It doesn't work like that. You're going to get caught in bad situations and you're going to have to just man up and play. And I think for the most part, they've done a pretty good job in that area. I have no complaints there.
Dustin.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to ask a little bit more about how the series with Kansas came together. I mean, I think you said from the beginning, this is the sort of game that you wanted to play, the type of program you wanted to play. When did you guys start putting this together? What made it a good fit in your mind? And I guess just tell me more about how this came to be.
Well, look at both programs. Kansas has got great tradition, man. Got a great coach and Bill down there. And I just think fans want to see the games like that. It used to be that way here. Somehow, if I can get the Kentucky series back, I would love to get that back with Cal because I just think that's what fans want to see. Maybe we get a game with UCLA or, somebody out west. I think as you build your program, you got to put teams in play just to test your team, man, just to see what your program is about. That's important, I think, moving forward. Coach always did it, and it didn't hurt after you did that 2 or 3 times. You have to run into the tough Big Ten. So, it all goes hand in hand, but I think you got to challenge your team as you move forward. As we build in this, we got to challenge ourselves with which big time programs, and Kansas sits right at the top.
Kevin.
Yeah, Coach, you've stressed the importance of the point guard position, since the beginning of the season. What do you feel like you're getting out of it at this point? And maybe how could you use this time in December before Big Ten play to kind of even maybe develop a little more before you kind of get into the teeth of the conference schedule?
Well, I still think it's work in progress with all our point guards. Again, it's a tough position, man, and I'm demanding when it comes to that. I mean, there's certain things that they got to be able to do to get us over the hump, and we're still in the learning stages. Me being the head coach and our point guards being point guard players for our ball club. We still got a ways to go in that regard, and I'm going to keep pushing X and Rob and Christian to be better, man. That's because as they get better, we'll benefit from it as a ball club.
Zach.
Mike, I sort of had a question going into kind of a neutral site game, but maybe more broadly, especially in college where, you're probably dealing with arenas of different sizes, capacities. You're obviously dealing with different basketballs. Like physically, the basketball can be different from one place to the next. Do you do anything different with for example, a neutral site game in terms of the way you prepare your players, the way you build out a scouting report, anything like that, talking to guys, whether it's about sight lines, about the court, about anything that might be different from what you do at home?
Not really. I mean, we just try to put them in the best position possible to win. We've had the Syracuse and Wisconsin game. The only other game we had was Belmont, where we went to Louisville and played there. Until you learn how to win and know what it's like, that Wisconsin game would have been a beautiful win for our ball club because it would have put us in a different light, just as a team in general, I think. They really don't know what it's like to win yet on the road. And although Belmont was a pretty good test because they're a pretty good team, I just got to get them over that hump. To answer your question, we're not doing a whole lot. Times are different. You eat differently when you're out on the road. But our preparation is still the same in terms of how we go about preparing our guys to play. And I always told our guys, and I mean, even in the pros, when you go out on the road, you got to have a totally different mentality because you don't have your fan base that's there like a 6-man that's rooting you on. So your whole makeup has got to be totally different. And once the game starts, you can't turn it over. You got to get shots, and then you got to get stops and rebound the ball. I mean, that all goes hand in hand every time you play. But on the road, you got to be a little bit more deliberate about how you play. You can't take chances. And, I thought, in the Syracuse game, we got down so early that scared the hell out of me because I didn't really know how we would respond because we hadn't been in that position. And then we did respond. And then in the Wisconsin game, losing the big lead, I think our guys know that they can compete on the road, but we got to finish it. That's the name of the game. You got to finish to get that feel of what it's like to win on the road.
Tom, and then Jeff for the last question.
Mike, I know you never had to worry about the basketball stuff from the NBA to college, but this is the wrap up of finals week in that. How have you adjusted to sort of a dealing with the academic loads of your players and the responsibilities of that, and how much do you talk academics with them?
All the time. I talk to the academic counselor all the time. Basketball's basketball. I get it, but academics, education is first. Is more important than just basketball. I think we put so much emphasis on sports in general, and I get it, but got to get an education, man, around me, because that's going to take you, I think, a lot further than this sport. So, we give them time to do what they need to do, and I work around their schedule for practice time because that's important.
Last question, Jeff.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to follow up on Jordan Geronimo. What do you like that he's done, and sort of what would you say maybe are the next steps for him to continue to progress this season?
just continue to work. I mean, he's gotten better. I think the big thing is, you know, when he's challenged defensively, may it be in traffic defensively with the basketball in his hands, you know, he's got to get more comfortable in that area because he shrinks. And those are things that will come with more time, more practice, where he's more comfortable in doing things. Because I won't ever take the ball out of his hands and say, you can't do that. My job is to get you to do it. And he has made major strides from the time we started some months ago together, and he's getting better. And he's a good kid. He works, man. He comes to the gym. He's a proud kid, and he puts his time in. And so he's just got to keep working, I guess, to answer your question. I mean, my job is to push him to get better.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you Saturday.